In the second lecture of material technology, we are going to study polymeric materials with their examples. Now let us understand what is polymeric materials. Polymers means many units. It's composed of a large number of repetitive called monomers or simple molecules. Therefore, a polymer is made up of thousands of monomers joined chemically together to form a large molecule. It has been observed that each molecule of a polymer is either a long chain or network of repetitive units or monomers. Examples that can be considered are wool, silk and natural rubber. Now when we consider about the classification of polymers, it is into two main groups as thermoplastic polymers and thermosetting polymers. If you go in detail, thermoplastic polymers are the polymers which become soft and deformable when heated, which is characteristics of linear polymeric molecules. The high temperature plasticity is due to the ability of the molecules to slide past one another, which is another example of thermally activated. The key distinction between thermoplastics and metals is what we mean by high temperatures. Although polymers cannot in general be expected to duplicate fully the mechanical behavior of traditional metal alloys, a major effort is made to produce some polymers with sufficient strength and stiffness to be serious candidate for structural applications once dominated by metals. These polymers are noted in engineering polymers which retain good strength and stiffness up to 150-175 degrees Celsius. Thermosetting polymers are the polymers which are opposite of thermoplastics. They become hard and rigid when heating. Thermosetting products can be removed from the mold at the fabrication temperature at 200 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius. By the contrast, thermoplastics must be cool in the mold to prevent distortion. Common thermosetting polymers, which is subdivided into two categories, that is thermosetting and elastomers. In this case, thermosets refer to materials that share with the engineering polymers. Now, what are the characteristics of polymers? The following are the characteristics of polymers that can be considered: poor tensile strength, low mechanical properties, economical, poor temperature resistance. They can be produced transparent or in different colors, excellent surface finish that can be obtained, good moldability, low coefficient of friction, good corrosion resistance, low density. Also, they can be produced with closed dimensional tolerances. Now, what are the applications of polymeric materials? Applications includes: it can be used in foams, in fillers, fibers, films, membranes, structural adhesives and composites, then emulsions, coatings, rubbers, sealing materials, adhesive resins, coagulants, solvents, etc. Now, types of polymerization process includes addition polymerization and condensation polymerization. The process in which two or more chemically similar monomers are polymerized to form long chain molecules are called as addition polymerizations, whereas the process in which two or more chemically different monomers are polymerized to form a cross-link or linear polymer along with a product such as water or ammonia are called as condensation polymerization. Addition polymerization takes place in unsaturated organic compounds, whereas condensation polymerization takes place in the organic unsaturated compounds and requires suitable conditions such as high pressure, temperature and presence of catalyst in the same way as that of the additional polymerization. So this was the brief about polymers. We will go to the ceramics. Let's understand ceramic. The term ceramics is applied to a range of inorganic materials of widely varying uses. Generally, these materials are non-metallic and in most cases have been treated at a high temperature at some stage during manufacturing. The word ceramic is derived from Greek keranos through the group of materials now so described includes glass, products, cement and plasters. Examples of ceramics includes bricks, tiles, cement, glass, etc. Classification of ceramic structure is into four main groups as amorphous ceramics, crystalline ceramics, bonded ceramic and cement. Amorphous ceramic are the substances generally referred as glasses. They include obsidian, which occur naturally, and man-made glass, which are used for the manufacture of bottle, window, lenses. Crystalline ceramics may be single-phase materials like magnesium oxide or aluminum oxide or various mixtures of materials such as these. In addition, some carbides and nitrides belong to this group. Bonded ceramics are the materials in which individual crystals are bonded together by a glassy matrix of large number of products derived from clay. Cements, a number of crystalline, but some may contain both crystalline and amorphous. And if you consider properties of ceramic materials that will be asked in the exams are nuclear properties, optical properties, thermal properties, chemical properties, electrical properties, and mechanical properties. When we talk about nuclear properties, they are refractory materials and are chemically resistant. When we say optical properties, many types of glasses have been used for the production of windows and optical lenses. A number of special glasses have also been employed for selective transmission or absorption of particular wavelength. Thermal property possess favorable at high temperature and under oxidizing conditions. Chemical properties. The great majority of ceramic products are highly resistant to chemical except hydrofluoric acid and to some extent hot caustic solutions, organic solvents that affect them. Oxidic ceramics are completely resistant to oxidation even at very high temperatures. Magnesia, zirconia, porcelain, graphite, alumina are resistant to certain molten metals and thus employed for making crucibles and furnace linings. Ceramic like glass are employed where resistance to attack from acid, bases and salt solution is required. Electrical properties include electrical insulations, electrical conductivity, magnetic ceramics, piezoelectric properties, dielectric constants, dielectric strength, etc. And applications of ceramic materials includes they are used in electrical electronic industry because of their high electrical resistivity, dielectric strength and magnetic properties that are suitable for application as magnets for speakers. They are high resistance to wear makes them suitable for applications such as cylinder liners, bushing, seals and bearings. Ceramic materials have been used successfully in gasoline and diesel engine components and as rotors as silicon nitride, silicon carbide and partially stabilized zirconia. They are also used to coat metals which may be done to reduce wear, prevent corrosion and provide thermal barrier. They are used biomaterials to replace joints in the human body as prosthetic devices and for dental works. Commonly used bioceramics includes aluminum oxide, silicon nitride and various compounds of silica. Ceramics can be made to be porous, therefore allowing bone to grow into the porous surface and develop a strong mechanical bond. We'll move forward. Today we are going to see another material, that is composite material. They are comprising two or more different materials bonded together having combined properties of constituents that are called as composites. And the examples are fiberglass doors, window frames, bathtubs and shower stalls. Properties of composite materials include strength resistance to heat, better than properties of individual materials. The specific strength is sometimes referred as strength to weight ratio. Properties like density, heat capacity depend on the amount of each phase and are independent of microstructures. Properties like elastic modules, thermal and electrical conductivities that depends upon geometry of the constituents as well as their volume fractions. If you consider applications of composite materials, they are to be used in certain applications like space vehicles, aircrafts, rockets, high pressure vessels, building construction, aerospace and fuel efficient automobiles. So today we have talked about composite materials, ceramic materials and polymeric materials. We are now moving to the topic lattice imperfection, then definition of imperfection and classification of imperfection. When we talk about definition of imperfection, in crystal imperfections we can say that crystals are rarely observed to be perfect. The defects in the atomic structures and their arrangement are called as imperfections. Dislocation follows an extended and sometimes complex path through the crystal structure. There are so many other types of defects found in the structure of the crystals. The type and magnitude of any defect can be well understood from the structure of the crystals. When we consider classification of imperfection. Then the type of defects that we have to follow are point defects and line defects. Point defect takes place due to imperfect packing of atoms during crystallization, and that can be of different types as follows: vacancy defect, interstitial defect, substitutional defect, Frankel defect, and Schottky defect are some of the defects from the point defect segment. In vacancy defect, one or more atoms are missing from occupied position. Such type of defects can be result of imperfect packing during the formation of crystals. They also arise from thermal vibration of the atoms at high temperature. Interstitial defect: an extra atom occupies interstitial position the crystal system without disordering the parent atom. In substitutional defect, a foreign atom occupies a position which was initially meant for parent or replace a parent atom. In Frankel defect, a missing atom occupies interstitial position, and in Schottky defect, a pair of positive and negative ions is missing from a crystal. When we consider the formation and effects, impurity atom defects, interstitial impurity atoms are much smaller than the atoms in the bulk matrix. Interstitial impurity atoms fit into the open space between the bulk atoms of the lattice structure. Impurity atoms defects, their formation and effects. The formation of an impurity atom atmosphere near an edge dislocation is accompanied by thermal effect. For slowly moving dislocations, the atmospheric perturbation increases in proportion to the increase in velocity, but at the same time, interaction of the dislocation with the lagging part of the atmosphere decreases, which can provide a retarding drag force of the atmosphere on the dislocation. There is probability of generating new phase centers at a phase transition in a solid and of a subsequent disparity and a manner of separation of the other phase in the final structure of materials. And if we consider significances of imperfection, they are as follows. First, the atoms do not have their electrons in the lowest energy level. The atoms vibrate due to thermal effect, and electrons also change their place. Understanding the nature and effects of imperfections is important in understanding the properties of crystals. There is always a discrepancy between the computed and actual stresses. The properties of materials are found sensitive to deviations from crystalline perfection. Dear students, for today we have covered up to this. In the next lecture, we will see dislocation, that is related with edge dislocation and screw dislocation, and that will be started with line defects. But you have to write one question, and the question is: discuss the causes of formation of defects. Second question you have to study is: write a short note on composite materials. Third question: what do you mean by composite materials? Fourth question is: explain the properties of composite materials. Next is: explain practical applications of composite materials. Classify crystal imperfections. Then write a short note on crystal imperfection. Discuss the defects due to dislocation. And last question: what are the line defects in crystals? Explain the variant line defects in details. So, dear students, already the book has been given to you. Go through it and try to answer the following questions. Study hard. We will continue the same series of lectures. Till then, thank you.